Good afternoon. Welcome to Equip. Coach Chris here. We are going to start off with some T-spine mobility drills to get things primed. All right, if you just got off your desk or just got to this first movement in a while, be easy on your upper back, and your shoulders. But let's go and take our hands behind our backs. We're going to grab onto that right wrist, go into our handcuff drill. All right, squeezing those shoulder blades back. All right, pulling that rib cage down, and we're going to try to lift the hands off the back just for a moment, and then relax. And again, we're going to make this a little bit more dynamic. Relax. Again. Relax. Again. And switch. Grabbing onto that left wrist. Shoulder blades back. Lift off the back. Exhale. 3 more times. Lift. Relax. Lift. Relax. Lift. And relax. All right, just a quick little something to wake up the lower body. Our hinge, our squat, our double lunge, 5 reps. Feet underneath those hips. Nice strong hip hinge. Nice strong squat. And then a double lunge. All right, take your time here. All right, make sure you got some oomph into those movements. Trying to brace that midsection. Nice, good intent. Gripping into the floor with those feet. If you're with me, you've got 2 more. Nice strong hinge. Nice strong squat, double lunge. If you're going a little bit slower, that's fine. I'll pause once we get through these 5 reps. Excellent. All right, let's wrap up those 5 reps. Hinge, squat, double lunge. All right, we're going to start off with just some moderate weight to incorporate our movement prep. We're going over our movements today as a part of our actual warm-up. All right, so we're going to start off today working left side. We're going to work a nice strong hinge. You're going to give me 4 rows, and on that 4th row, when you're in extended position, you're going to stand up and rack it, and then we're going to work a push press. 4 reps of that push press, and then right back to your row. All right, so let's go over that. Left hand has your weight, dumbbell or kettlebell, doesn't matter. Nice strong hinge. Give me 4 rows. Again, right now we got moderate weight. This is some kind of part of our warm up. After that 4th rep, stand tall. And you get to that push press position, it was a dip in the knee, drive, dip in the knee, drive, dip in the knee. You know what to do. 1 more. Excellent. All right. Stay with that left side. I want you to bring that weight on down. All right. I want you to slide that left foot back for me. We're going to work a single leg hinge. All right. Nice strong RDL with that left side brace. All right. So left shoulder blade is back. And we're targeting here is that right leg. If you want to get super fancy and go with a true single leg RDL, you're more than welcome to. All right, let's switch over to that right side. Nice strong hinge. Give me 4 rows. That 4th one again, let it go extended, and then stay in a rack. All right, push press, down and rack, press, rack, press, rack, press. All right, let's slide that right foot slightly back, letting that weight come in front of the body. Give me a nice strong hinge with that RDL. So again, that back foot is pretty much floating in this position. That big toe is just pressing to the ground a little bit, so I can really target that tension on the left side. Excellent. All right, let's stay with the weight that you have. That's what our first superset looks like today. We're going to go into a rotational lift. All right, we're lift with rotation as our next movement. So you have a kettlebell, grab onto those horns. I know we're in black. It's tough to see that kettlebell. All right, we have a dumbbell, hold each end. We're going to take it to your left hip. Your belly button points at the weight. As you stand tall, you're going to press across the body. Back to that hip. Press and rotate. Back to the hip. Press and rotate and reset. All right, let's get to that right hip. As you stand and press through that hip, going over to the left. Right hip. Left press. Right hip. Left press. Excellent. And our next move is going to be our tactical lunge. I've got my weight in my right hand. My right foot's going to step back, point down to that lunge position, pass it inside of that thigh, standing tall. In my left hand, left foot steps back, passing under. We've done this one quite a bit. Right foot steps back. Let's go 1 more for good measure. Excellent. If you want to go outside to in, that's fine as well. Just make sure you're not passing around the front of the body. We'll go over that more as we actually get to that. All right, our last superset today is going to be more metabolic. We're going to work an alternating clean and then a thruster. All right, so the ticker's going to get up. So what does that alt clean look like? I'll switch over to a dumbbell on this one to be fair. I do recommend you go to a hang with a dumbbell. All right, so we're going to hinge, stand tall, and then when you're at the bottom, hinge, stand tall, point to that shoulder, okay? I did these Friday, if you're with me. You get a bottom up position almost, okay? With a kettlebell, if you're not really, if you know how to clean, you know how to clean. All right, but if you don't, what I want you to do, you start all the way from the floor, you're gonna stand up, and you're gonna catch that ball to where it's gonna end in this position, okay? It really helps you to learn to clean, learn the movement, and point it towards the body, okay, instead of flipping it over and leaving bruises. All right, the thruster is just a fancy way to say squat press. So if you have a kettlebell, I challenge you to go bottom up position, holding onto the horn, pulling down, and then press. Pulling down, press, pulling down, press. If you're working that dumbbell, again, hold each end of the dumbbell. There we go. All right, pulling down, press, pulling down, press. It is going to be more of a metabolic intent. All right, so we're going to really try to work through it. All right, we got about 20 seconds. We're going to get rolling. Okay, that was warm-up weight. So if you have something more challenging to go with, let's grab it. We're going to start with our 4 rows and our 4 push presses. Unilateral, going one side, left side if you want to stay with me, unless you know your right side's non-dominant and you want to start off with. All right, big breath. Let's get that left side loaded up. All right, nice strong hinge. 4 rows, your pace. After that 4th row, extend, stand it clean, dip, press, dip, press, 4 reps, and then back to that nice strong row. Brace that belly as you stand and rack. We're 4 and 4, so you're keeping count. Strong on those rows, strong on those push presses. About 8 seconds. Work until the end. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. You got time. You want to set that weight down. All right, we're going to go back to our left side. Stay on that left side. And we're going to go into that single leg RDL. All right, big breath. All right, let's get that left side loaded. Left foot becomes a kickstand. All right, press those hips back. Strong hip hinge. Stand tall. Nice and slow as we hinge. And explode as we stand. You're looking to feel that load in that right hamstring. A little different camera angle here. As you press that hip back, again, that left foot is just kind of a kickstand. Don't reach the weight. All right, so whether you have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, that shoulder is packed. That shoulder is back. Okay, it's not about getting to the floor. It's about feeling the load. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right. Got time. Setting that weight down. Switch over to that right side. 4 rows, 4 push presses. We know what to do. All right. Big breath. Let's get that right side loaded. Strong hinge. 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you stand, punch those hips. Dip drive. To get on that dip drive, you're staying very vertical. Guys, so on that push press, you're staying vertical. It's just those knees dipping forward to create that inertia to really get that weight moving quick. Plenty of time, 10 seconds. Working the entire time if you can. 4, 3, 2, 1. Get that last rep in. Excellent. All right, single leg RDL coming back up. This time right foot's gonna slide back, right hand's gonna have the weight. Of course, if you have heavier weight you wanna grab, you're more than welcome to as you work through this if you wanna double it up. All right, right foot slides back, let's work. But if you're working one weight, like I am, we're loading up the opposite side, so we are working that trunk. Strong hinge, load it up slow, explode up. Strong punch, strong finish through the hip, firing off that left glute. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. All right. Moving back to our row, our push press, left side coming up. We got 2 rounds of our first superset. We're already halfway through. So we know the movements now. We start upping that intensity. Intensity. I just made up a word, I think. All right. Strong hinge. 4 rows. Staying tall. Push press. Nice and strong through that midsection as you transition from row to press and press to row. Got about 15 seconds. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right, big breath. Left side has the weight. Right hamstring's doing the work. We're not feeling that low back. We're feeling the hip drive back. Feeling that tension through that left hammy. All right, left foot's a kickstand. Sorry, right hammy. Pressing that right hip back. Stand tall. Not letting that weight reach out in front of the body, so you can tell my weight's going right along with that right leg. So it's staying over my center mass, which allows me to use the hips, not stressing out the low back. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. All right, one more time with our row and our push press. Moving over to that right side, and then we're moving on to that rotational lift, of course, after our single leg RDL. With that rotational lift and that tactical lunge coming up soon. All right, right side's loaded. Strong hinge, 4 rows. After that 4th row, you know what to do. Stand tall, rack, dip, drive, coming back to that rack position every time before you press. "20 seconds left to work, plenty of time. Last 8 seconds. 3, 2, 1, relax. Oh, sloppy on that last press. All right, last Romanian deadlift, single leg Romanian deadlift coming up. And we're moving on. All right, you're going unilateral. Let's load up that right side. Right foot slides back. Left leg is almost straight as you press that left hip back. Just that nice soft knee. Just don't let it turn into a squat. A lot of times, if the camera will pick this up, it'll kind of turn into a lunge. Don't let it turn into a lunge. All right, it's just think about moving that hip joint. Right, about 15 seconds. Strong through that upper back. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. All right, so I'm dropping weight. I'm actually dropping weight by about 1/3. All right, so we're getting to that rotational lift. If you want to stay heavy, stay heavy. All right, but I'm going to go a little bit lighter. I'm going to go for some reps here. All right, so if you have a dumbbell, you're holding each end. If you have a kettlebell, you're holding the horns, the side of the horns. All right, athletic position. Get that weight to that left hip, point that belly button at it, and then stand. Let it come across the body, back down. All right, now what I want you to be careful of here is letting that rib cage flare. Okay, so I'm exaggerating a rep. If we get to this position, the rib cage is flared up, your belly's all pointed up, you're looking to wreck your low back. All right, I think I want to demo that because I got light weight right now. All right, we want to keep that rib cage down. That strong explosion. 15 seconds. 8 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. relax. All right. Minimize this little reminder real quick. Not that I can't see y'all, not that I can't see y'all. I still like looking at everybody in our class. All right. Athletic position. Right hip, stand, press. Let's work. Let those feet move. Okay, when you go to explode, you're driving through the heel. Like when you finish, if that foot wants to rotate, that foot wants to move, let it. Use those legs, use those hips. Those shoulders are going to get tired quick, especially after those push presses. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right. I'm going to go back up and wait a little bit for the tactical. You can stay wherever you are, of course. All right. If you got ways to choose from quickly, I encourage you to get a little heavier with that tactical lunge. All right. Start off my right hand, holding the side of the kettlebells. That pass goes a little bit easier. Right foot steps back, passing under, standing tall. Passing under, standing tall. So as long as you're not passing in front of the body, you're doing it just fine. So if you go outside and in, that's fine. You mix it up. To me, I just always like going outside or inside to out. 15 seconds. The next round, I'll mix it up. 3, 2, 1, relax. All right, dropping back down and away from our rotational lift. Again, you work where you need to be. Again, my goals, tempo I'm looking to create. Gonna drop back down about a third in weight. All right, athletic position. Load up that left hip and drive. Use those legs, use those hips. You are pressing out in front of the body a little bit, but keeping that rib cage pulled down. 20 seconds in, 20 to go. Most likely feeling this second round a little more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right, big breath, big breath. You got time to set that weight down if you like. But just a moment, we're going to athletic position. Right hip to that explosion, to that drive. All right. Let's load it up. Right hip. Punch. Punch. Your pace. You press that hip back and then explode to that standing position. 20 seconds. Use those legs, use those legs. That's your powerhouse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right, deep breath. All right, we got about 6 minutes left in class. So if you're holding back, now's the time to up it a little bit. All right, we're going back to that tactical lunge. And then we have those alternating cleans. And then with our thruster. All right? Well, right hand. I told you I'd mix it up this time. So I'm going right hand, left foot stepping back, passing outside to in. Make my body think reverse for once. Of course, you go where you need to go. Sometimes we always pick a certain movement. If we have the ability to change things up, just change it up. Driving through that front heel. And 8 seconds. We have that alternating clean coming up. Demo it with the dumbbell. And relax. I'll be working through a kettlebell. Again, with that dumbbell, you can go more of a hang, all right? So you're gonna switch, not actually touching the ground, more of a hang, clean and switch when it's down towards that groin area, not towards the hips. If you're working a kettlebell, all right, I'm gonna see you working off the ground. All right, athletic position, weight starts in that shoebox. Let's work. Again, we'll go up more of a catch. So we're standing, if you're working that kettlebell, you're catching it, unless you're really comfortable with that clean. If you're really comfortable with that clean, you can go to a true rack position. You're gonna go a little heavier next round. About 10 seconds, we gotta make up for it in the thrusters. Thrusters are always great for emptying that gas tank. 3, 2, 1, relax. My ask, watch your face. All right, watch your money maker as you work through these thrusters, all right, especially as we're holding that weight in the center of the body. All right, so if you're working a dumbbell, you're holding either end. If you want to grab 2 weights, be my guest. All right, for the kettlebell, my challenge for you is to go bottom up. All right, let's pull it down and press. Pull, press. As those hips extend, that weight keeps moving. Your squat depth is all up to your ability. I want you to keep tension so you can explode out of that position and get right into that press. 8 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right. So our last 2 rounds, I'll up the ante a little bit on the clean. All right. Trying to stay beside the plate. When I wear all black, I blend right in. But if you ever met me in person, you know my favorite color. All right. Hinge. Get that weight. Let's work. All clean. So if you missed the beginning of the class and you missed that rack, that demo, when you pull that weight to the body, you're actually going to catch the ball with your other hand. So we're not going to a true clean unless you're comfortable with that clean, bringing it right to that body without that kettlebell assaulting you along the way. Three, 2, 1, relax. I had somebody recently have to take a break from my programming. Heard a lot of excuses over 10 years of coaching. Kettlebell got him in a noggin. That was a good reason to take a little break. They got assaulted by a kettlebell, which I never heard before. There's a possibility. All right, athletic position. Pull it on down. Let's work thruster. 40 seconds, and you are done. And as those hips extend, that weight explodes. A lot of overhead pressing today. So use those legs to get that power. 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Relax. Big breaths. If you want to keep moving, you want to start moving some weights. Put it back where they belong. We'll get a quick stretch. Try to keep that head above your heart. I'm hoping with that finish that you ended up with a little bit of increased heart rate. All right, it was a little bit of a metabolic finisher. All right, so we weren't sure for exactly cardio feeling, but heart rate got much more than it did at the beginning of class. All right, so let's find an athletic position. Sink down, deep breath. Exhale at the top, slow. One more. Let's take that left foot back, just a quick stretch on each side. Now, we're gonna fire off that left glute. Try to take that belt line, that belly button, just try to target that hip flexor for a moment. Now I want you to reach that left hand overhead. And I want to see if you can start turning that palm to the wall behind you. Okay, so we're gonna externally rotate that shoulder. Or even at least turning your thumb backwards. Don't know how mobile those shoulders are. Feel a little challenge to that T-spine. Let's switch. Right foot steps back. Belt line to belly button. Fire off that right glute. Taking that right hand overhead. And again, try to turn that thumb back at least. If you can, you start trying to take that pinky back to the wall behind you. Excellent. All right, for time's sake, that's all I've got for you. If you have time, I hope you have time. Take care of the pec, find that door jam, take care of that hip flex a little bit more. Simple hamstring stretch to make sure they stay nice and loose. Thank you for joining me. Y'all have a wonderful night.